cry yet. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be with you today. And what an honor to follow such amazing scientists, colleagues here at doTERRA. I could just listen to them all day, couldn't you? We only have a few minutes, but we have so much exciting stuff to cover. So I want you to grab your peppermint, grab your supermint, and wake up, because we're going to talk about sleep. Little contradictory, I know, but you'll want your brain awake for the exciting stuff that we're going to talk about next, the chemistry and the science and the research behind the new Serenity System. Are you ready to dive in? Okay. You heard yesterday all about why sleep is so important to our health and why we need to make it a priority. We're so lucky at doTERRA to have these natural solutions to support healthy sleep. So let's start by recalling some of the chemistry of our beloved Serenity Oil Blend. Oh, I could tell you some stories about this. Come find me in the showcase, and I will. This is one of my absolute favorite of our doTERRA products. Now, not surprisingly, this blend is formulated with soothing oils, calming oils like lavender, cedarwood, Roman chamomile, and vanilla. The constituents linalool and linalool acetate. You've probably heard those before if you've been to any doTERRA conventions. These have so much great research supporting their calming qualities in the central nervous system. Cedrol from cedarwood is a sesquiterpene that's also known for its calming and grounding properties. Now, many of you who have used Serenity know that it is a very powerful blend of essential oils to support sleep. But remember, these oils are more than just those active constituents. It's really the synergy of their natural plant chemistry that holds the power. Now, how many of you are excited about the new sleep stick? Did anyone happen to use it last night? Amazing. What did you think? Yeah? Of course, this is our newest member of the Serenity family, and it features the new oil we've never seen before, Valerian oil. Now, a meta-analysis on Valerian for sleep concluded that this natural product may actually support our sleep without the side effects you might get from other products. Sesquiterpenes, they're known for their powerful calming properties, and Valerian is full of these kind of constituents. So when combined with Serenity oil and put into this convenient stick for application, this is going to be a serious player in our search for a better night's sleep. Now, let's not forget about the Serenity Softgels. You heard yesterday, these are the improved version of the Serenity Softgels that many of us have used and loved over the past few years. We've got the lavender, the L-theanine, the passion flower extract, lemon balm, and now with the Tart cherry, that's the natural source of melatonin. Right? I'm excited about that too. Research suggests that Tart cherry may help increase the availability of a little thing called tryptophan. Anyone heard of that? That nice, calming, relaxing chemical in the brain that supports the body's natural sleep mechanisms. Now, unlike many of the melatonin supplements on the market, this is not synthetic. This is not a megadose of melatonin that can actually interfere with your body's hormone systems. The Serenity Softgel is a natural and gentle way to work with your body's systems to support a good night of sleep. So as Becca shared yesterday, this powerhouse trio of products is formulated to work together in supporting that natural sleep and making sure that you feel amazing the next day. We're a science-based company, and we would not launch a product system like this without human clinical trials. So you might be asking, does it work? Let's talk about the clinical trial for which we have data hot off the press to share with you. So when my amazing team and I were designing this trial, we wanted to study the power of the different parts of the system, as well as the entire system, how it worked together. So we had our trial participants track their sleep as is, no intervention, for 1 week. Then, for 1 week, just diffuse the oil alone in our awesome Volo diffuser. For 1 week, we had them diffuse the oils plus use the stick topically. So we started to combine that a little bit and stack it. And then, for 4 weeks, we had them use all 3 products together. Now, why 4 weeks on the system? Well, research suggests it may take as much as 3 weeks for internal lavender to start to build up and work in our systems to its maximum potential. So, we recruited 45 healthy people for this study. We assigned them wearable trackers. We measured multiple endpoints, including their sleep amounts and sleep quality, blood markers, subjective surveys, safety markers, and even effects clear down at the cellular level. Now, one of the most important outcomes of this clinical research is, of course, safety. As you just heard, doTERRA is not only a leader in purity and efficacy, but also in safety. That is one of the doTERRA differences. We check liver enzymes, kidney function, blood and urine markers, and we collect feedback from our participants every time we do a trial. For the Serenity system, no significant changes occurred in any of our safety markers, and no serious adverse events were reported from any of our participants. That's what we want to see. Right? We care very deeply about your safety. So now if you get the question, are the Serenity products safe? You can answer with confidence, yes, backed by data. Just one more way doTERRA is stepping through that door and locking it behind us. Now, minutes of sleep and sleep score were important indicators of how our participants were doing in the trial. The sleep score is an algorithm developed by the makers of the wearable device company that we were using. It combines a sleep amount and sleep quality into a single number. Both the minutes of sleep and the sleep score increased for our participants throughout the trial. Now, these increases weren't hours of extra sleep per night. There's really no magic switch for that, but certainly minutes. And when we're talking about sleep, every minute counts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why that is, and you'll see it in the data. But the bigger and more important question is, what did those increases actually mean for the participants in the study? To answer that question, we used validated clinical research surveys that asked our participants questions about how better sleep made them function. At the end of the day, that's really what we wanted to see improve. On the LEADS Sleep Evaluation Questionnaire, or LSEQ, that you might see in the literature if you're reading about sleep, we asked participants how easily they were able to fall asleep, how they felt when they woke up, how tired or energetic they felt during the day. In every measure, using the Serenity Sleep System improved how participants felt before, during, and after sleep, and throughout the day. In many categories, the change was dramatic, like feeling less restless during their sleep and feeling refreshed when they woke up. On the short form 20, or SF20 questionnaire, participants were asked about their quality of life. Things like whether discomfort prevented them from performing tasks, or whether they felt down, whether they felt calm and relaxed. In every measure, guess what we saw? Increase. In some cases, again, this was dramatic. I dare say, life-changing for someone who now feels like they can live life rather than stumbling through their day like a half-asleep zombie. On the functional outcomes of sleep questionnaire, the FOSQ, we asked participants about how sleep impacted their ability to perform daily tasks, like driving, doing paperwork, or participating in social events. Again, in every measure, we saw improvements in how participants perceived their sleep. People just functioned better in every aspect of their life that we could measure. Now, not only did we show improvements in subjective data, but objectively, we could see the improvement in participants' well-being. Now, these data are still being analyzed. Again, we're giving you a very hot off the press sneak peek, but we're going to have more information for you in the coming months. I wanted to show you some interesting trends we're seeing in our participants. During the trial with the Serenity system, our participants spent less time sedentary. Active minutes per day increased. And in turn, participants were burning more calories when they were using the sleep system. I'll be honest, we weren't actually even expecting this, but it's no surprise, right? When participants, for example, in the week they were using the diffused oil and the stick, they burned an average of 500 calories more per day from being active. Who knew? Well, we knew, but is it possible that sleeping better leads to more energy, which naturally encourages your body to move? When we feel better, so often we do better. This is proof positive that when people sleep better, we're influencing other areas of the wellness pyramid. It is all connected. Now, after reviewing this data, we began to do some subgroup analyses as well. We realized something very important that applies to all of us. Some of us believe we may be getting a good night of sleep, but in fact, we're not. Well, everyone accepted into the study was screened and their self-reported sleep habits were good. Once we tracked how they actually slept, we saw more than half of our participant population were irregular, late sleepers. In the subgroup analysis, we categorized participants into regular or irregular sleepers based on their sleep-wake patterns, from what the wearable device was telling us. Regular sleepers varied less than 2 hours in their bedtimes and wake times. Irregular sleepers varied more than 2 hours. Early or late sleepers were categorized based on whether they went to bed before midnight most nights or after midnight most nights. Research shows that variable sleep-wake patterns can affect daytime sleepiness, focus, energy, even personality. This indicates that as a society, we have some work to do. Okay, I won't ask for a raise of hands. Which of these categories fits us? And which one do we aspire to be? Now, down at a cellular level, what does better sleep do for our bodies? We know that sleep is strongly correlated with our inflammatory response. So we wanted to see if using the Serenity products would affect this in healthy people. One common way we measure inflammatory response is by looking at something called C-Reactive protein, or CRP. This protein is elevated in times of stress, poor sleep, even exercise. Our C-Reactive protein levels go up and down normally as we go through life, but optimally, we want this C-Reactive protein level generally low. From the beginning to the end of the study, we saw drops in the C-Reactive protein of our participants. Yeah, you can cheer for that. I like it. Why did our people feel awesome when they were using these products? Why could they get out and be more active? Because their biology, the markers in their blood, in their cells, were showing that their bodies were working better. This is something that can benefit every human being. Thank you. One person's like, yeah, that's me. As we have shown year after year, doTERRA essential oils have biological activity because we have the purest, most consistent, most efficacious oils on the planet. Simple as that, right? And like you heard from Dr. Hill and Dr. O, you may see other companies talk about oils, sourcing, even research, and say, me too, we're just like doTERRA. Well, I cry foul on that. Aside from the adulterated and synthetic oils that we know flood the market, ultimately, they don't know what we know because they can't do what we do. You heard Dr. Hill say we're playing a different game. This is one of the ways we do it. Human clinical data, we hope, gives you the confidence to say we're different and we're better. Research, we hope, gives you the confidence to use these products on yourself, on your family, share them with everyone around you. To help you start sharing the outcomes of this clinical trial with your friends and family right now, scan this QR code. We've got some fresh, downloadable claims you can use today about the new Serenity system.